Hello, world. This is America's Supermom, and this is a special edition that I call the Corona Chronicles. During this time, we are suffering from a pandemic that is affecting everyone across the world. We are joined with the rules and regulations of being shelter in place, which means we are limited with the ability to go about our daily business, confined to our homes based on a coronavirus that has been sweeping the entire world. For some people, the effects could be mild. For others, it can be fatal. So we are coming together as a community, as a family during this time of difficulty to share what it is like in our part of the world, how we are affected, and the things that we have in common, what kind of problems that are taking place in our industries and in our relationships and finances, and coming together so that we can plan for a better tomorrow. As this epidemic or pandemic crosses the world, we are waiting for relief. We're waiting for the virus to die off and for us to go back to some state of normalcy, whatever that may be, after things kind of settle down. So, what is that going to look like once the dust settles? How are things going to be different? So as we go through this process, we're coming together as a world to create ideas, strategies, connect in ways that we have never connected before. So that is the purpose of the special podcast that I call the Corona Chronicles, so that we can get some insight and have empathy and compassion on one another, create new, innovative ideas that can not only improve our life, but our fellow brothers and sisters across the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, for joining me today. I'm really excited about my next guest, Elizabeth Chandler. We actually met organically through Facebook, I believe. I'm really excited to kind of hear her insight. She is a YouTube creator, among other things. And so, right now, with the landscape of a lot of people reinventing themselves, YouTube is like the next best thing, right? To for us to look at. So I'm excited to hear her insight right now with these uncertain times, how we can pivot and how YouTube can play a big part of that. So at this time, I'm going to give Elizabeth the floor so that she can introduce herself before we get into the interview.
Well, thank you, Lachelle.
Hmm.
Well, being on my first podcast, we actually met. We actually did meet in Virtual Team Network. So team
Oh, okay.
referral, yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then you had mentioned your podcast. I've never been on a podcast before. And when I signed up for this podcast, I was actually only at about 4 subscribers on my channel.
Really?
And so I'll give you a bit about myself, and then we'll go on to the channel bit.
Okay.
So for me, I separated from my husband like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And since then, I started to really reinvent myself to get clear on what I wanted. So I went
Mhm.
back to school, did my mathematics and accounts CSCs, which is like high school diplomas here in my country because I'm from Barbados.
Mhm.
And then I signed up to do my ACCA, which is to become a certified accountant, and I am doing the
Mhm.
foundations in that. And January that just went, did this whole 30-day challenge with Earl Nightingale. That is a YouTube video I followed, right? And
Mhm.
basically every morning I got up, read a card as soon as I got up, and which stated what I want. And then, but in on this card, I wrote doing what I love because at the time Yes, I was studying my ACCA, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, people are in that position where you aren't really clear. Like people know that they can sing, so that's their talent.
Mhm.
I knew I love numbers, but I didn't recognize I had like a burning desire for it. So I
Mhm.
wanted God, universe, to just guide me and tell me like what am I supposed to do for the rest of my life. So I did that process well for full 30 days, but and then along with that I watched the video The Secret just for motivation every day because you know it's easy to say you're going to do a challenge. Which this challenge I have tried to do it, let's say about 6 or 7 times before, and I never ever
Mm.
was able to complete it. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I was a big procrastinator. I never was that person to like complete stuff, especially if it's
Right.
something online or from myself. I had a
Mhm.
lot of insecurities, which I'm writing a book now about, but anyhow. Um, so then, right, so on day 10, between day 10, I say day 15, my best friend says day 10. So I say between 10 and 15 days in doing this, I then had this whole like awakening of why I literally was in my living room, and I heard loud and clear in my head, "Why don't you open up a virtual bookkeeping business?" And in Barbados, that does not exist. In Barbados,
Mm.
for you to be a bookkeeper, you have to work for a company. For you to be an accountant, well, accountants might open their own practice, but bookkeepers, no. So that's my favorite place to go. And
Mhm.
I just Google bookkeeping business. And I read this article and with this lady listing how to open up your bookkeeping business to get certified in QuickBooks Online, which is the first thing I did because that was like free.
Right.
And yeah, and then she had this course that this guy Ben Robinson that he teaches you how to open up your bookkeeping business and stuff like that. But he was a CPA as well. And what I love is that he offered 3 free videos prior to going into the course. And these
Mm.
3 free videos captivated me to him, and I recognized that I would completely enjoy what studying, and I was determined that if I did his course, I will complete it because
Mm.
my ACCA, this is the second time I'm paying for it again. Because when I first separated from my husband, I got
Mhm.
my hopefully my none of my family members are listening in and they don't recognize my voice. I
Girl, you're going
uh,
big time. Okay, you're YouTube. Okay, so it's
uh,
just a matter of time.
I know, right? So they paid, they all put together and they paid for me to do my ACCA prior online.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
completely failed at completing it. Because at the time, too, I
Mm.
was living with my husband and I was going through a lot of crap with him and stuff like that. So, you know, when you're those stressful situations, which for me right now, I don't put it as an excuse. I just said that, you know, I was
Mhm.
not determined to believe in myself that I could do something like that. And I
Mhm.
was because I suffered from a lot of self confidence, and it's only that in the last 2 years, working, having a best friend that you know, find like convinced that God is sending my way, that was able to help me to do the things that I needed to do, get away from past hurt and things that I've
Mhm.
experienced, and you know, sometimes we are actually holding on to stuff that happened from we were younger,
Right.
and we take them all through our lives and we never recognize that there's certain behaviors that we unconsciously have that affect us in our day-to-day lives, and the people that really are there to really help you, they can't because they don't understand where you are, why you're behaving like this, because it's completely
Mhm.
strange. Because here I
Mhm.
was obviously coming off of a broken relationship, controlled relationship too.
Mhm.
And then, you know, coming in and meeting a friend that, you know, he came from mommy and daddy, all love in his family. So he
Mm.
didn't know about live because I grew up living from house to house, you know,
Mhm.
experiencing somebody interfering with me when I was younger,
Mm.
and all this. So this is why I'm writing my book now, to be not to have that sad story, but to show women and people actually, and men do go through it too, that
Mhm.
although you have these bad things that happen to you, it's you that are in charge of your life. And, we got to be able to face those things. So I had to write my grandmother a letter because she was like my mom and she died at 13. And
Mm.
I didn't realize I was holding on to a lot of hurt and pain
Mhm.
from her leaving. I was so angry. And I remember I was going through, I had some argument with my best friend at the time. And he said
Mhm.
to me, you need to, this, whatever it is that you're going through, because he does a lot of self development, right? He
Mhm.
said, he was like, whatever it is that that has happened in your life, you need to deal with it, because this is like this underlining thing that is there, because I can see there's this body that peeks out, and you need to deal with it. And I literally had to go into this
Mm.
whole like meditation search inside of me, and I recognized that I was pressing my daughter's uniform. I would never forget it. And it hit me,
Mm.
you know what? I haven't forgiven my grandmother for leaving me when I was 13, because after she left me, well, she died. Well, obviously, she didn't have like
Mhm.
control of that. But in my brain,
Mhm.
she left me. And then because she left me, I went through all these bad things, and all these people did all these horrible things to me. And then I didn't have this self confidence, and so I always used to look for people approval of stuff,
Mhm.
so yeah,
Mhm.
there's a
Mhm.
lot, right?
That is
So
awesome. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
so
the fact that it's just a good thing to be able to talk about it and have that time to reflect, I mean, of course, we wouldn't want to go down that journey, but once you get on
mhm,
the other side, you realize, wow, it was possible. You know what I mean? You kind of think it's not
yeah,
even possible to be in a different space. So I get what
yeah.
you're saying. Mhm.
Yeah, because I and the reason too I started, because for YouTube was really a stepping out of my fear, my comfort zone kind of thing. I started my bookkeeping
Mm.
business, and I wanted something to be accountable, because I know me. I know my best friend too, and I know the work that he did with me over the years. I can't like stop doing what I am doing, but I wanted to do
Mm.
something that made me accountable and also bring people along on my journey too, because I found that a lot of bookkeepers on YouTube, they all have had the experience. They've gone through it already. I know they're telling you what to do, and then they're offering their courses and stuff like that. But there's nobody there that, because for me, I was looking for somebody on YouTube that, well, they started their business. Let me see what downfalls they had, and they're sharing their journey. And that's why I named it Bookkeeping Journey. Um,
Mm.
because my bookkeeping, obviously, experience and stuff like that. Because I mean, keeping is easy, because I've worked at a $1 million company, and I've been their admin assistant and the director for about 5 years or so. And I used to
Mhm.
love, I remember I used to enjoy, if you bring an invoice or just look at that little sales receipt, I would do those, like, because we did a different system then. We didn't use QuickBooks. So the only
Mhm.
difference with doing having my business now is that QuickBooks is new to me, but I caught on really
Mm.
quickly because I was doing it like for so many years already, right? And I was so
Mhm.
good at that admin job that the manager of the exec team, she wanted to, which is reservations now, she wanted me to join her team as well. So it was like a whole, they
Mm.
love me too much, but yeah. So because I actually this year kind of like revamped myself completely, and I basically deleted my Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn profiles, and this was to start fresh. To
Mm.
Because I recognize I also had a lot of useless people in my circle, that were
Mhm.
only there to peep and see what I was doing, but not really there to support me.
Mhm.
And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm not even going to tell anybody I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm not going to be telling anybody about my business. I want to see what I can do on my own. Imagine today,
Mm.
because when I signed up for this podcast, I had about
Mhm.
3 or 4 subscribers. Today, I have 75 subscribers as of last night,
Wow,
and
what
this
a
is
blessing.
75. Yeah, and only three people I know, which is my best friend, my two cousins from America. Well, one from America, one from Canada. Um, that's it. And the thing
Amazing.
is, I was shocked because what has me is that I had a previous YouTube channel, and everybody in the circle that I was in before knew of my channel, and that only
Mhm.
grew to 12 subscribers. So it's like
Wow.
you have to get to that point in your life where you recognize, and that's just something I talked about in a video yesterday, that we have to get in the point in our lives where we recognize the people that are there to really help us and push us forward, and the people that are there to just make sure that you don't go any further than they do.
That's good. That's
You know, because
good.
I met Terry Lee, and she's a complete stranger to me, and
Mhm.
here she is having me on her live, sending me in. She had a newsletter the other day, and she sent out our live recording in her newsletter, and I like nearly sat down here and like bawled in tears, because what
Yes.
has me is that when I meet, coming from the background that I have, when I meet people that are just genuinely out there to really help and assist me, or that are just there to just help,
Mhm.
I and they do something kind to me, listen,
Mhm.
I lose it. I literally cry. I will cry
Mhm.
of overjoy. I freaked out my best friend the first time I did this. I wanted a computer, which is the same computer I'm using now. This is when I wanted to study my ACCA. I knew that this is the first one that I feel that, yeah.
Mhm.
So I wanted a computer, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buy a computer, and but I was going to save for it. So he said, you know what, I'll pay for it, and then you could pay me back, however. But the
Mhm.
thing is, he bought the computer. He didn't tell me this, until after he bought the computer. He
Wow.
bought the computer, called me, and because he told me, well, just show me the computer just so I can make sure that you're getting a good quality, whatever. He bought me the computer, and then he gave it to me. He said to me, you could pay me back however you want, as long as you want. Um, you know, just I just
Mhm.
wanted you to be able to start doing what you want to do. And I literally
That is so
cried.
awesome.
I cried so bad. You would have sworn that
Mhm.
somebody beat me.
Mhm.
And he was like, I don't understand why you're crying. It's like a gift. Like, you should be happy. I said, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But you just don't understand. I don't have this. Think about it. I
Mhm.
was in a relationship. Now, he's just my friend. I
Mhm.
was in a relationship with a husband that if I wanted a dress, I had to beg for $100 dress. This was a four,
Wow.
and mind you, from my money,
Right.
because he was in control of our finances. He was fully in
Mhm.
control, because remember, I'm that person that looks for the other person's approval.
Mhm.
And a
Mhm.
lot of people recognize that, and that's what they use, So,
Mhm.
yeah. But
Now, so
now
you're
I'm
and now
happy
now you're
differently.
not that way, right?
No, no, no. So now I
Cuz
am
you
like on a
don't sound like
journey.
it.
Now I'm
Yeah.
on a path to help women and people that are there
Mhm.
to show and pull out the strength. If I have to take all the
Mhm.
strength in me to help somebody to do that, I will. Because
Mhm.
a lot of us are so powerful, and we don't recognize it, and we
Yes.
always allow those people that's told us, you're stupid, you're never amount to nothing, we let those things play up in
Mhm.
our heads, and we believe them. But it's our choice to
Mhm.
believe,
Right.
it's our choice. We have a
Mhm.
choice to
Mhm.
believe who we want to believe, and we gotta be brave enough to delete who we need to delete too.
Mhm.
I always use the word delete, because whenever you make an error on your phone, you
Yeah.
always backspace and you delete. But
Mhm.
sometimes we need to do that,
I
in our lives. Like, definitely, and that's even something too, because I have a daughter. She's 7, and
Mhm.
I am not that parent of serious, because in Barbados we're allowed to spank our children, right?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
but I come from my really adult learning was when I started to working at the hotel I used to work at.
Mhm.
Well, technically still work at it, but obviously I'm off from work now. I'm making sure I use this time, the time that
Mhm.
you talked about with the whole COVID, from the time we
Mhm.
came off from, and I was told I was going to be laid off, and I
Mhm.
was smiling. My boss couldn't understand why I was like so happy. I was like, you know what? This is the time that I'm going to use to post on my YouTube channel every single day. I will not miss a day. And then I'm going to make sure I go there and market my business and get my business registered and every single thing I am going to do at this time. To me, I using this
Mm.
time. So while everybody, like my sister was at home, like going crazy because there's nothing to do, I had something to do every single day.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I mean, you do a podcast, you know how it is to do material, then you probably have to edit it, and then you
Edit
before you
it.
can put it out, to make sure that it's listenable, that people will actually stay and listen. For me, it's like that people will
Mhm.
actually stay and watch it,
Mhm. Mhm.
so yeah.
That is so awesome. So, this is just wonderful how you had to go on this journey. So, what was different? Like you said, you tried this 30-day thing before, but what do you think was the difference this time now that allowed you to complete that 30-day challenge?
So what was different, right? I'll tell you.
Mhm.
December last year, because since I left my husband, I wasn't allowed to do with him. So I would go to, like, because in Barbados we have like carnival every year. So in December
Mhm.
last, and I started to go to carnival and have my fun and stuff. But I don't drink or anything like that. I don't drink or I don't smoke.
Mhm.
Because I stopped that because my husband didn't allow me to drink. Anyhow,
Mm.
so my best friend sat me. He actually hold me by the shoulders, looked me in the eye, and he was like, 2020 is coming, and you have to really think and get clear on what you're going to do for the rest of your life. I understand that you like carnival and everything, but you really got to think and get clear and go towards whatever it is that you want to achieve, because you don't have these days put down. You got to think of, you
Mhm.
have a daughter, you have to really get clear on this. And I am here to support you all the way, but you just find out what it is that you want to do. So having that, I've never had anybody do that to me before.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never had anybody do that to me before. So I really went on okay, I need to do that, this whole soul searching. The thing is, to what kept me to doing it is that I know who I'm dealing it with when it comes to him. Because with my best friend, if I say I didn't do something today that I said I was supposed to do,
Mhm.
the arguing that will go on, well, he will argue, but he doesn't shout or anything, but he gives this stern talking that you feel it if you're getting lashes from your father. I tell him every
Mhm.
time, but it's good lashes,
Yeah.
and I don't want to ever experience it again, because I remember, how he gets, right, and because too,
Mhm.
you can see that this, I've asked God to send me someone like him in my life. Send me somebody that doesn't look for me for motivation, but I look to them for motivation. That they can see the
Mm.
greatness in me and help pull it out and help push me to do what I want to do. So every day I had to
Mhm.
report and say what I did today, what was different today, happened today that was, like, spectacular, or not, so every day it was a talking about the goal, so it was always there. I was blessed,
Mm.
and that's why too I am, like, um putting myself out there to help other people, because I was blessed to be able to be helped by him, to have
Mhm.
that support, because sometimes when it's that one person, or that one thing that complete well one person that completely supports you. That's why,
Mhm.
like, you will see that there's, like, people, especially like successful women, and you wonder, like, how does she consistently do this? And you don't know
Mhm.
the husband that she has at home. She has a really good
Mhm.
husband at home that pushes her, that sees the greatness in her, and make sure that he tells her, no, you shouldn't do it that way, or not that you shouldn't do it that way, but no, you're wrong. Maybe think about it different, in a different light, that he will help to
Mhm.
pull you and pull out those amazing pieces of you when being lazy with ourselves as well, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what really kept me was knowing that I can't go back, and like, I can't say, I didn't read my card today. Why?
Right.
I have to go through the why. Why didn't you read your card? What
Mhm.
benefited you not reading your card? Do you think you're
Right.
going to really reach your goals? Are you really serious about this? That talking, you
Mhm.
can't be serious if you can't just get up and read a card. You
Mhm.
said it, you wanted to get away from your husband or whatever, and you want to do all these different things in your life. Now it doesn't look like if you're really being serious. That's the
Mhm.
talking that I am not looking forward to having. So even if it was on YouTube, there are times I don't feel like sitting down here to do it. I see
Right.
him standing invisibly over my shoulder saying, why aren't you doing that video? What are you doing scrolling through Facebook? Why
Right.
are you, unless I'm right, because yesterday too, I had to sit myself down to write in my book as well,
Mhm.
because I wasn't writing. I joined this
Mhm.
group called Write That Book with Michael Heppel. And then he created this whole masterclass to help a lot of us to be able to write our own books and everything and give us the guidance and stuff like that to get our books published. But obviously, we have to write before we can
Mhm.
publish it. And at first
Mhm.
I was going to do like a bookkeeping because that sort of like marketing yourselves. But then I
Mhm.
really decided to do something I always wanted to do, which is write a book on my life,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
share my story to be able to, at the end of this book, I don't know how it's going to end, but I know that I'm right now writing down everything that I went through, everything I experienced. And then at the end of the book, I want people to walk away with that extra encouragement that my book is something that when they feel down, they pick it back up, they
Awesome.
read through it again, and they're like, wow, like I can do this,
Mhm. I love
yeah.
that. And I love the whole thing of being able, it's so therapeutic to overcome some adversity and be able to go back and tell your story to help others avoid that same situation. So there's something to that. That's awesome. Now, so
Yeah.
for the 30 days, the card, was this something you created, or did you made your own card, or was it something that was pre-done that you just kind of meditated on daily?
So this is why. So I worked prior, along with that. I used to work in a kids club, right?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
admin stuff for them as well. So in there we have a lot of arts and crafts. So we had these cards that we use for art and crafts. So instead of those bank cards that you might buy,
Mhm.
like those postcards. So I actually took a postcard, put it in, like, put the backs to face each other, and I
Mhm.
wrote out what I wanted. So I write, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am easily earning how much I wanted, doing what I love. By
Mm.
December the 30th, by December the 20th, 2020, I put doing what I love because I didn't know at the time what I love doing. And
Mhm.
that's why I made the card. Right now I'm doing over the same 30-day challenge. I didn't have card. So I wrote on piece of paper, and anybody
Mhm.
watches my channel will see the paper stick on my green screen behind me. And I had, because not the card, it has a front and a back. At the back of the card, he leaves you with motivation saying, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, not and it shall
Mhm.
open unto you. You know that Bible verse.
Yes.
So you have to read both of those together, morning and evening. So I use paper. I'm all for use what you have. It doesn't
Amen.
necessarily have to be card. We always want
Mhm.
everything that we see these other people have. Just use what you
Mhm.
have, work with that, and everything else will fall into place.
Mhm. That is so true. Now, so you said you look at these cards when you get up in the morning.
Yeah. So when I get up in the morning, before I even go, so when you get up in the morning, the first thing you want to go is go to the bathroom. So I get up in the morning and I read it, and then I go to the bathroom, come back, and I do my meditation.
Wow. This is good.
Yeah.
Now,
And then right before
so
I go to sleep at night.
yeah, so now, as a result of this, um, how has this helped you, like, you like you said, sometimes you'll have this thing of you need to stop scrolling, but outside of that, how has this helped you with your time management? Just on what a day looks like for you, just from looking at this card in the morning, as opposed to when you
Okay.
didn't do it.
So because of this card, I actually created a schedule for myself.
Mm,
So, and I find that I'm loving it. So I'm not only going to even doing these activities just for 30 days. I want to continue and make it like a lifestyle kind of thing for me and my business. So my typical day is supposed to be, because as humans, we don't always follow those supposed to
right,
be.
right.
But my typical day is I get up, I read my card, and
Mhm.
after that I go and do my meditation. And when I finish so it would be a meditation of deep relaxation. And I don't use anything special. I go on YouTube and I look for deep meditation.
Mhm.
Before I learned how to meditate on my own, I used to go guided meditations and listen to the honest guides. Honest
Mhm.
guys, they were
Mhm.
really good.
Mhm.
And I listen to any one that I feel to listen to for that time. Right now, I'm on a Bob Proctor kind of like manifestation thing. Anyhow,
Okay.
after that, I'm supposed to go and exercise. Right now, I'm supposed to be doing planks every day, and I
Mhm.
added burpees on yesterday, but I'm supposed to do planks, and then I'm also doing this 30-day exercise with antibiotics or something like that. This other YouTuber, he has a app or some his he has an exercise app, and so he's obviously to advertise the app. He's doing a 30-day challenge. He does a lot of 30-day challenges as well.
Mhm.
So I'm doing that. After that, I'm supposed to do that. So I'm going to be hot and sweaty, go shower. Then I'm supposed to come here and do a video for YouTube, edit it,
Mhm.
post it. While that is posting, to be watching the video The Secret, like I did in January. Supposed to watch the video The Secret while that's
Mm.
uploading because my computer takes a while to upload, sometimes depending on the length of the video. And so when that is all completed, I'm supposed to sit and write in my book 300 words. But starting yesterday, I just decided I'm just going to write. I'm just going to sit down and just write until I can't write anymore. Because I
Mm.
realized I have a lot more time. 30 minutes out of my day after the writing, 30 minutes to message business owners on LinkedIn, get to know about their businesses, and just connect with people and get to know other people out there. Because, we all connect on LinkedIn with,
Mhm.
we all have these people that are sending you advertisements, and you have like 50, like right now I have like 400 connections, and we don't know anybody.
Mhm.
So my whole thing was to get to know business owners or whatever. Yes, you might get some that will refer you. Yes, you might get some that might want to use your services or whatever. But the whole goal is to just network with your LinkedIn
Mhm.
connections.
Mhm.
So that's what I've been doing. Because then after I broke up with my husband, I actually came off of social media for a whole
Mhm.
year. So it's hard now for me to get back into posting every day, like on Facebook
Mm.
and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I even struggle to post on LinkedIn as
Mhm.
well. And mind you, post on LinkedIn for me is just sharing a YouTube video. But then there's some videos that are just for like my channel.
Mhm.
I'm not like that full marketing person. Um,
Right.
I'm not good at it. Let's say I'm more like to people. If you like, even for like clients and stuff, I preach on. It doesn't matter if you have because I have a client, but she's family, so technically don't count her because I say, oh, she had no choice, kind of thing,
Right. Right. I feel you.
um, I don't count her in. So I say I'm still looking for that actual first client.
Yeah.
Because but the thing is that I'm not just going to take on anybody, because when you go work for a corporation, you have to work with whoever you meet there. When you have your
Mm.
business, it's time that you decide to start choosing who you want to work with, because these people um, will either have, if you're somebody that's difficult, you're going to be doing the extra work that, because obviously you're all stressed out. You don't want that. The
Mhm.
reason why we own our own business is to get away from the stress of a boss. So just because you want to make a quick buck doesn't mean that you're supposed to just take on anybody.
That is
Because
so
obviously a lot of new business owners made that error, and
so
I
true.
vouch not that error. Yeah.
That is so true. And I feel you on that. And I love that. That's a very good point to make out to those people who are, trying to have a business because, it sounds like you really are clear on what it is that you service your customers with. And I think that's key because sometimes when people get into business, they're so busy being led by what they want to make that they
Mhm.
let allow the money portion to override what it is that they actually provide for the client.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's
It's true.
key. Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
this has just
Yeah.
been
Because
yeah. Go ahead.
sorry. No, I was going to say my whole thing is that I just don't want um I know that the money will come.
Mhm.
Just have to be persistent, right? I
Mhm.
live on Think and Grow Rich book. And so therefore, in watching like all these different advanced people in business and stuff like that, I really take in what they say, just don't just take on
Mhm.
anybody. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
I love that. So this has just been great. Well, I have really enjoyed this, Elizabeth. I'm looking forward to checking in with you and see how that YouTube subscriber list is growing. Hats off to you. That's a very commendable, because it's a product of hard work and persistence and being consistent and showing up, like you said, whether you feel like it or not. So that is something to be very proud of. So, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
All right. So if you want to get in direct in contact with me, my email address is
Mhm.
Elizabeth at
Mhm.
bookkeepingjourney.com.
Mhm.
And if you want to connect with me on YouTube, just look for Bookkeeping Journey. And on LinkedIn, my actual name is, yeah, just Bookkeeping Journey. Bookkeeping Journey all over, except for my email
Okay.
address. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and so glad that we got connected. And I look forward to us collaborating again. And you did a wonderful job on your first broadcast.
Thank you. Oh my God. Listen, I was actually thinking of, we're done recording, right? So this part ain't gonna be
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. This
Okay.
isn't gonna be.
Yeah. So actually, when I saw the anchor, I was like, oh my God, this is something that I would completely enjoy. Because as you can see, right, I love to talk. And I
Yeah.
was thinking that, it's something that instead of, but I wouldn't do like book, but more use it for like that part of my book, not only to just to sell my
Yeah.
book, but to also to help people. Because I know that it's good to listen to a podcast. I used to listen to them when I would be driving in the car, or, you just something like that, and you just put them on. Yeah, so I was
Mhm.
I was really looking at it and thinking about it, but that's something probably I would have to do like a once a week with everything that I'm
Yeah.
doing right now. Yeah, because you do
But
yours twice
see,
a week.
yeah, but see, mine is actually I record every day for the most part. I do like 7 or 8 interviews a week. But
Oh wow.
this is something that it is like a supplement of what I do regularly. Because I just do coaching, and public speaking and things like
Hmm.
that. But it's very easy. So I'm on my cell phone recording this. So you can record either on your cell phone or your computer. And
Oh.
yeah, so it just uploads automatically. The Anchor app is free. So just the app that you downloaded for us to do this interview, that's the same app. You can go into a section of your profile and you can create your own podcast. And how I started mine was I just used to use voice memos on my phone. So I used to do these voice memos to my clients and, family members and stuff
Hmm.
for a
Hmm.
form of motivation. Then when I got the Anchor app, Anchor you can upload those video voice memos to the Anchor app and, it just converts right over.
Oh wow. But my
Yeah.
my thing is that because I was looking in the back part of it, and you have to select which genre or something like that. So I guess it might as well be probably like a personal diary or something. I think I see
Right.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but then it sends it out, or do you have to send it out to the different
Yeah.
platforms? Like, how
They
do you get
they
it out?
send it out. They send everything out. Only thing you do is load it up on you go through the process to publish it on
Mm-hmm.
your Anchor account, and then Anchor will publish it on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all the major podcast platforms.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's free. So, and now I'm at the point where it's monetized, but it's only monetized where I just do like a little short commercial for Anchor in my own voice at the beginning of my podcast. And I can choose which episodes I want to put that commercial on. So you don't have to necessarily have that commercial. But what happens is, as you get an audience, anytime it's played, it works like YouTube, I think,
Mm-hmm.
where once you get so many subscribers with YouTube, anytime people
Mm-hmm.
watch your video, then you'll start getting monetized for it. They'll start paying you. So
You're
that's
right.
how it is with the podcast. As you get more viewers, or people listening to it, you'll receive small residual, for every time it gets listened to, and then you can add other um, sponsors as well. So, like if I wanted to, talk about, QuickBooks. Let's say you're doing your bookkeeping and
Yeah.
your podcast may not be about that, but because you use QuickBooks, you feel comfortable talking about them on your podcast or having a
Mm-hmm.
commercial. Well, then anytime somebody listens to that, and then I think if they click on the link, then you can get extra money. So there's all different ways that you can kind of get extra sponsorship that can help you monetize. And that might be something you might want to look into anyway, like, seeing if you can get an affiliate link for your virtual bookkeeping for QuickBooks. So, like if
Yeah.
you put QuickBooks on your website or something, if somebody clicks on that link that you put on your website, you get a small portion of that. I mean, that's not going to cost you anything. So, if they end up
Yeah.
doing their own bookkeeping, just because they went on your site, they clicked on it, if they buy it, then you get a portion of that.
Mm-hmm. Because
So,
I
there's,
actually have because I saw too that I could have like upload a video and they will like extract the audio from the video.
yeah. So yeah, you can take that, like once that audio's done, you can transcribe it and
Mm-hmm.
turn it into a blog. Another thing is, you can also take the audio. So like when you do an anchor thing, you
Mm-hmm.
can load that, because you have a what's the word I want to say? Like you have raw footage underneath here. So like
Mm-hmm.
my raw footage, which is what I have now, I can upload that, and then once it's uploaded and I publish it, then that one is embedded with Anchor. But my raw footage, I can take that and load it into another platform. And, like, for example, you can create that for your YouTube channel. So it doesn't have a video with it, but you could post a picture or some still picture that can be
Yeah.
YouTube content for you. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm. So yeah, there's
Thank
all kinds
you.
of things you can do. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I look forward to us connecting again though in the future.
Of
You can
course.
reach
Me
out to me
too. Me too.
anytime. Okay.
Definitely. Definitely. Especially when I have to talk about.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
I will do
Okay.
that. All right, Lachelle. Thank you
All
so much
right. Well,
for having me.
you're welcome. You have a good day. Okay.
Too. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. What a great interview about using what you have to get started in the journey of where you want to be. I just love this interview. So practical with different things that you can begin to do yourself on the journey of self awareness. So I want to thank Elizabeth for her transparency regarding this lesson in life. If you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, please email me at info@lachelleatkins.com, or you can reach out to me through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, or my YouTube channel. I would love to have you on as a guest to shed some light on your perspective and how you go about your day to day living with different lessons in life. Again, if there's something in this podcast that benefits you, please feel free to share it. It doesn't cost anything, but it can definitely give other people the opportunity to have those aha moments and experience a deeper knowledge of life, which could help them in their daily living to be a better version of themselves. So, thanks again for listening and have a great day.